guys, Karen here. So I'm out here outside this morning. It's really cold. Not super cold, it's like in the 30s. I just finished my morning walk. I hope you guys can hear me because I can't hear myself. I just finished my morning walk and I was like, let me go ahead and work on a few things in the garden. I planted like a month ago, about 5 weeks ago, I propagated some rosemary, thyme, oregano. Sorry guys, just trying to stay warm. And when we went to get the tree cuttings, tree trimmings, I got a bunch of these. So I'm going to use the Hubster sander and make these into coasters. Have quite a few of them, all shapes and sizes. So, but anyway, I was seeing this video go around. There's so many noises this morning, and that's fine. But I saw a video going around about the dear beginner gardener, and I thought I would do a video about that because there's so many things that I wish I knew before I started. And since the bulb season, if you haven't planted your bulbs, you still have a little bit of time depending on where you live. So let's just get into it. None of my neighbors are outside, so that's why I can do this video. This feels so weird because I'm not used to it. Anyway. Okay, I was just making sure. Okay, first thing. Don't do everything all at once. Okay, you do not have to. If I could do it all over again, would I start with as many raised beds as I did? I would start, if you're gonna do raised bed gardening, do it during this time of the year, like fall, winter, because the price of wood is lower. But if you do it during the gardening season, like right before spring, be prepared to spend a ton of money because the price of wood then goes up. It's like they know you want to garden or do whatever, so they just hike up the price of wood. So if you're, and also one thing that I thought was a really handy and saved a lot of time and a lot of money was in our front yard garden, we did a no-till garden. So actually, that's not true now that I think about it, because I did have to start the ground. So I did turn over quite a bit of soil, and then on top of it added, then went into it. But that initial dig was the first thing, and then after that we used a no-dig method as we added on, which saved a lot of time and money. The initial dig for the front yard edible garden was digging to get rid of a lot of the grass and stuff. And then after that, because I wanted to plant right away. If you don't want to plant right away, try a no dig method. So first up, I'm just getting ahead of myself. So first up, I would say if you're going to do raised beds, do them in the off season, late fall, winter. The price of wood is a lot cheaper. That's one. Two, if you're not in a hurry, like I was in May, that's when I did the initial dig for our front yard, which was Mother's Day weekend. That's when I started that. If you're not looking to dig and put in right away, do no-till. Just lay down lots of cardboard, or we use cardboard. We also use the craft paper from the garden center, and you can get some craft paper from Lowe's or Home Depot as well. It'll save you a ton of time and money, just as long as you're not, and you can plant in it right away if you want to put all of the soil on top. Check out Jay's Garden Journal, her channel, and you can see a lot of her no-till beds. So cool. So that will be 2. No-till is the way to go. Save your back and your time. Number 3, if you missed ordering bulbs online, just go to your local big box store or your garden center. You know, if you have a local nursery like we do, they have some there, not as many as the big box stores, but it gives you an opportunity to play around with the bulbs and not having to invest so heavily in them right away. And that way you get to learn things before you spend a ton of money on things. So you know, that's number 3. So number 3, if you haven't ordered bulbs or whatnot, don't worry about that. Just get what you can from your big box stores, and that'll save you some money too, and then you can play around with that. The other thing that I would say too, when I first started, I was buying plants in season, like the big plants. Number 4, start with seeds and start with smaller plants. One thing I learned from our local nursery was that the first year, if you buy little starts, it may not be as pretty as buying the full plant, but by the end of the season, most of those little tiny plants are big. And if not, there's a little saying I learned from a local gardener, which was the first year they sleep, second year they creep, and third year they leap. And that's not a lie. So when you looking around, we have a lot of leaves. Yeah, I'm looking around at what for instance, these hydrangeas behind me, we have Limelight here, and then we have Endless Summer. The first year they didn't really do anything, but now our Limelights stand about 9 feet in full bloom, and they keep giving more and more blooms, which hopefully next year will allow me to use them as cut flowers, more of them to sell as cut flowers as well. But yeah, so just an example of, you know, even your herbs or whatnot, the first year, they're not, if you buy them small, don't worry about it, because sometimes we want instant color, and that's why there's a lot of annuals for sale at the beginning of the year. So yeah, so your money kind of just goes. Last but not least, do things at your own pace. There's so many things online to find information about what you want to plant or what you want to garden. Check them out, watch them hundreds of times, and you'll find what's in your zone. Our zone changed from 7B to 8A. So tulips aren't something that I'll probably be investing in the next year because they need cooler temperatures. So hopefully they all come up next year for spring, because I planted about 300 bulbs, 180 of those being tulips. But take your time. It's, you know, do things at your own pace, play around with it. I think gardening is one of the most forgiving areas, where you don't make mistakes, you just have lessons. So with that being said, I hope you got to hear some of the early morning sounds of the birds and things, and I'm going to go and get some of these things in the ground. Yeah. All right, bye guys.